Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at this Tuktu knife that we got from the Apocabox. Now, again, as you know, it comes with a blade and it comes with a handle that Creek burned out, so it's kind of like that burnt carbon in it. So now, if you're able to if you like this knife, you might be able to pick them up. Sometimes he has extras. He'll sell them on his website at Creek Stewart. So, but basically, you slide that blade in there, and then you pound that handle on something hard like the concrete, and now that blade is in there pretty tight. So that's how you set the blade into this handle. I'm thinking I'm going to put a paracord wrap around this handle so it's a little bit more comfortable. Not that this is uncomfortable, but it is wood, and so that means that over time it might splinter off. So I think just putting some paracord wrap over it, not only is it going to make it a little bit more comfortable, but it gives you that added cordage. You always know you always need extra cordage in the wild. So now, something I am working on building is I'm making a bedroll, and I'm going to need stakes for that, 10 stakes, for the tarp. So I've got this piece of wood here. I've already been kind of working on it. We're going to see if we can see what we can do with this knife here. All right, so we're going to start in the end here. We're just going to see how how it does with just ooh. Now this is dry. This isn't green, but it scrapes it very nicely. It does have a pretty good little edge there. All right, so now let's see here. We're gonna work on our notch here a little bit. We'll see if we can't get some deeper cuts in there. All right, now let's see here. We're just gonna cut it across. Can't clean that up just a little bit. All right, now we're gonna see if we can't. I know, don't cut towards you. I know what I'm doing. So, but I'm just doing these like very carefully pulling. Kind of want to clean this up a little bit. And the reason I'm pulling towards me is because it's safer than doing it like this, because you got that, okay? So, and basically I'm just trying to clean up the top of the notch here. See the notches? There, we got that notch. Just trying to clean up the top and get rid of this bark. So, and I don't want to cut into the wood, I just want to shave the bark off the top. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I'll probably cut myself on screen again. But we're just going to kind of clean up over that notch. Once we get over the notch cleaned up, then we can go back to cutting away from us, which is the right way you're supposed to do it, I know. That's the safe way. Don't do what I'm doing. But I've been using the knife since I was like 13, 12, 10, I don't know. Better times, telling you, better times. Now it's like, no, don't use a knife, don't give a kid a knife. It's like, you know what? Let them cut themselves and they'll learn. And then we're just going to kind of scrape it off there. Now the reason that Creek included this in that Tuktu box was because in the documentary, he uses the little knife like this for everything. And so that's why Creek included it. Of course, the project is that harpoon, which I'm trying to find this same type of wood here. I'm not sure what the tree is called, but they've got like long trunks, and they'll have some that are a little bit thinner that we might be able to size down to make that harpoon. So, not that I know what I'm gonna harpoon in the desert, but still kind of cool. I'll still make it. Just cleaned up. We got a little knot there. I'm gonna try to work that off. Yeah. Not too bad. Now that we have light, now we can see. Got a couple more knots we got to work off. One of them gone. Got this other one up here. Try to smooth that out. I'm not gonna lie. This is an interesting little knife. I like it. It does not have a sheath, which can be kind of a pain. But as I said in a previous video, I finally got all my grandpa's leatherworking stuff. I definitely want to get into that and start making some stuff for, you know, sheaths and, you know, bags and pouches and stuff. Maybe make like a belt pouch, like almost like a drop pouch. This little guy is a workhorse. Still has his blade. This probably is carbon steel. Again, he made it, but you know, he didn't mark it, so who knows what kind of steel it is. Now I'm going to see if we can start making this into a point. I figure right above the notch should be good. Because if you're making a stake, you know, we've already got the notch so that you can tie your paracord around it. But you have the part, you need to get your end so that you can put it into the ground. And you can of course fashion this in the wild as well, but I figure since we're checking this little knife out, I kind of want to see what it can do. I do feel like I have a lot of control over this because the blade is so short. And again, it's not uncomfortable, but I think paracord wrap would still make it a little bit better. So we'll wrap it up and then we'll give it a look-see. Then I'll just finish cleaning up the center. So far we're at 7 minutes 53 seconds. Granted, I had already started the notch, so we'll add a little bit of time to that, but still under 10 minutes, and as you can see, that point is starting to come to reality here. I think this knife does a pretty good job, you know. Almost there. 8 minutes, almost 9. So if you're in the wild, now granted, this is the reason that I'm doing this in advance for my bedroll is so that, one, you never know if you're going to be able to find natural, a good natural stick like this that you can actually use to make a tent stake. So you can, whether you have a tent or you're just using a tarp, which is what I'll have for the bedroll, it's just a tarp. But this is the kind of thing that is using energy, right? And so it's better to have your stuff ready to roll because, yeah, you can make it in the wild. I get that. But the less energy you're expending when you don't have calories going into your body, the better off you are. So if you're prepared, you have this stuff ready to go beforehand. And I'm not going to make it like a really sharp point because I don't want it to break, because you want it to be able to go into the ground. So I'm thinking should be about good right there. Now let's just go ahead and work on cleaning this. Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. Look at that. You can do feathering with this thing. We're just going to clean this up, and this will be the first take to go into our bedroll. And then once I get that bedroll all set up, I'll bring that to you. I'll show you what I'm going to have in my bedroll, have it all ready to go. I'm going to try to have a lot of the traditional stuff, but I'm also going to, like, especially for when you're talking like the tarp itself, I don't have one of the oil, I'm just going to use a regular tarp. So it's not going to be necessarily one of the classic tarps, but now one good thing, if you were doing this in the wild, I've got all kinds of kindling. I've got all kinds of a fire starter. Because, you know, this is just shaving off like nothing else. Look at that. That is just cleaning this up like... But I do want all the bark off of it, so that way it, you know, there's nothing there to... So that way the wood can harden up without having that bark, and it's going to be a lot smoother. Look at that. Now, one thing, this does not have a 90-degree spine, so I know for a fact this is not gonna. You're not sparking anything on this, not as it is. So I'm not even going to waste the time because this thing is, it's too rounded right here. This is not a 90-degree spine. I mean, you can almost tell that it's rounded just by looking at it. So we know it's not going to hit a ferro rod yet. I'll work on it, you know. Maybe. I mean, you know, it's my knife now, but I mean, I don't want to alter it too much, but maybe. And look, you can get in there and just kind of scrape off these little tiny things really easily. And we're going to make that notch just a little bit more robust. There we go. So this little Tuktu knife, I like it. This might be one of the better things Creek has put in his boxes, although I don't have any complaints about his box. I know a lot of people, they don't like his box, but I think it's pretty good. But yeah, there you go. Camp steak in 13 minutes. We'll add like another, you know, couple minutes for this. So we'll say 15 minutes. That was with a different knife though. There you go. Tuktu, camp steak. Can be done. Oh, if you're first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you already subscribed, I appreciate you hitting that like button. It does help the algorithm get it pushed out to more people. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. You know, look at Creek Stewart. You know, check out Creek Stewart's website. Every once in a while, he does put his stuff up for sale. If this knife does drop, I'll put a message out there on my channel to let you know that, hey, if anyone's interested in getting this Tuktu knife, it's for sale. Until then, keep prepping.